Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my secret bunker, smack in the middle of Bulgaria. Now, I'd like to ask you something. In case if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, have you noticed that January has started to get longer every year? I don't know why this is, but it's not just me. A lot of people are noticing it. It could be because it's cold, which is why I'm impersonating a stuffed animal from the neck down. Or it could be because it's the first month of the year and you're still tired from the Christmas holiday. But January is getting longer and it's tiresome and it can ruin your mood. But I've noticed that one way to deal with this is by dreaming, not deliberately, just if you're lucky enough to be a vivid dreamer, which I am. You can have nice dreams that, set a good mood for the whole day or the week or indeed the month. Makes you look forward to things. Uh, of course, bad dreams can ruin the mood, for a very long time. It has happened to me. I can still remember bad dreams from years ago that ruined my mood the moment I remember them. But in this case, this January, at the start of the month, actually, I had a really good dream. I dreamt of one of my favorite energy bloggers who called me in my dream to tell me he was coming to Bulgaria to visit as a tourist and he wanted to meet and chat. And that really set me in a very good mood. And I thought, this whole year is going to be great. And then I remembered that it won't be great because whenever something good happens, even in a dream, we here in Bulgaria tend to expect a bad thing to happen. Whenever something nice happens to us, we stop and say, oh, okay, something horrible is going to happen now, isn't it? We call it fatalism, although it's not exactly fatalism because real fatalism is the belief that your whole life is set in stone and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. But no, our brand of fatalism, as taught to me by my late father, before he became late, obviously, is that whenever something nice happens to you, something that makes you happy, you should expect something really bad to happen next. And the better the thing that happened and made you happy, the worse the next thing is going to be. Now, there are, of course, reasons for this, historical and cultural reasons, like centuries of subjugation and hardship and poverty and injustice and cruelty and death, to such an extent that it has become hereditary. And I learned this when my daughter came home from school a few days ago and told me that it had been a wonderful day at school. Everyone was quiet in class, the teachers were nice, it was a great day. And it was the third great day in a row. So she said next week is going to be horrible. And we didn't teach her that. No, we do not talk to her about fatalism and always expect the worst. No, no. She got there on her own, which is how I knew it was hereditary. And because of this hereditary attitude to life among Bulgarians, I thought it would be really difficult to market solar panels to them because we always expect the worst. It's a survival thing, survival threat. Because if you expect bad things, you are better prepared for them. You can handle them better. And we have survived for over a millennium as a nation. So it works. It doesn't make you nice company, you know. It's not good for your day-to-day mental health to always expect bad things to happen, but it helps you survive hardship. And yet, solar panels have turned out to be really popular among Bulgarians. Now, some of them put them on their rooftops. We have solar panels on our rooftop because we'd like to supplement our electricity bill with our own electricity, hedge against higher prices. But that's not what everyone is doing because a lot of people took out loans and stuck solar panels in as many as they could get their hands on in, for example, the abandoned yard of their granny's house in the country. Now, their idea was to generate as much electricity as possible and then sell it to the grid operator at a profit. Because in addition to always expecting the worst, we also believe that there is such a thing as a free lunch. And we believe that you can get rich by not lifting a finger, but just sitting back and watching the money of the grid operator flow into your bank account, in case you were wondering why we are the poorest member of the European Union. So a lot of people did that because solar electricity was being advertised as free electricity for the generator, not for the grid operator, obviously. But they forgot one very important thing, that they're not the only ones doing it. So suddenly there are a lot of people generating a lot of electricity at noon, and the grid operator can't handle it. So prices turned negative, as they did in other parts of Europe. And suddenly those generators, dreaming big and rich, found themselves having to pay for their electricity to be taken into the grid because they forgot several things. One of them being that the grid has limitations, unlike these people's greed. They also forgot that there is not, in fact, such a thing as a free lunch. And perhaps the most important thing they forgot is that everything comes at a price. In this case, the negative price of surplus electricity. And it's strange, really, because they should have expected the worst, but they didn't, because the belief in free lunches and getting rich without lifting a finger turned out to be stronger. But we have a coping mechanism for these situations, and this coping mechanism is shaking your head, saying this, and then concluding that I knew this would happen. Of course, you knew this would happen because you are conditioned culturally to expect the worst, but you really want to be so optimistic that you believe that this time, it would be different. And even though you know deep down that there is no free lunch and everything comes at a price, this time it would be different. And if it's not, if the worst happens as it always tends to, you can always shake your head and say, I knew this would happen, because you were smart enough to know this would happen, even if you did nothing to prevent it. This is what we call optimism down here. I wish you a wonderful month, which is not January, and that's a great thing. And I'll probably see you again in March. Bye bye and have a wonderful time.